Welcome, David, to Questions from Coach. I know you, David, as a writer, as a voice actor, but also as a producer a little bit, and also as a presenter. So, what would you like to add to this impressive list?
Well, for a little while now, I've been focusing most of my attention actually on podcasting. So I've been working on a podcast series called "The Hauntings of Elgin Barrett." Elgin Barrett being me, and these are a number of original ghost stories. I've called them hauntings because they don't all feature ghosts, but they're creepy, spooky, weird stories of the strange and supernatural. I've been working on them now for a couple of years. I worked as a radio producer for a long time, so I know quite a lot about audio recording. So I decided to write these stories and then record them using myself and various actors, and then putting them out there on a podcast platform. And they've had a reasonable response so far. I'm pleased to say. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I need to add that I'm quite a big fan of your hauntings. I've been following them since the beginning, and I enjoy them, and I'm very much looking forward now to season 3. Right?
Great. Well, thank you, Joseph. I'm very glad to hear it. Fantastic.
David, we've been coaching, we've been writing coaching. It's been 3 months now, I think, since April, so 4 months. So, how was writing coaching for you, and what kind of problems did it solve for you?
Well, I must say, I've had a great time doing the writing coaching. So thank you for that, Joseph. It's been thoroughly enjoyable and a really useful experience. I mean, I suppose when we first started working together, I was in one of those frames of mind that I think writers quite often get into, whereas I was thinking, am I going to continue with this? Shall I do something else? And probably suffering a little bit in terms of my belief in myself and my abilities to continue with the Hauntings of Elgin Barrett project. And so it was incredibly useful for me to just talk through some of the issues around that, and at the same time also to talk through some of the story ideas that I was working on, because I think very much those two things went together. It was belief in myself as a writer and a producer, but also belief in ideas as well. I mean, ideas are such frail and fragile things that it can be very easy to actually just lose confidence in them for actually no particularly good reason.
Brilliant. Again, I love your story so much. You are, I think, I think that you are a brilliant horror writer, David. So, what would be your tip for other writers who want to write horror stories or horror novels?
Oh, that's a challenging question. I think probably one of the mistakes that I think you sometimes see being made is that people are trying too hard to be scary. I know that I'm sometimes tempted to do this myself, but I think lots of people read that kind of genre, and obviously there are a number of genres that bleed into each other, from weird fiction right the way through, horror and vampire and slasher movies and everything else. But I think that very often people try too hard for the shock, the jump scare, whereas in fact I think what really gets to people is much more the kind of the creepy atmosphere, the sense of the unexpected, that anything can happen in this world. I think those probably are more valuable effects for writers in this field to aspire to.
Well, there you have it, everyone. This is the brilliant tip from David. David, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Joseph. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
So, David, I'm looking forward to our next session. Have a good evening.
And you. Thank you, Joseph.